Hey, what's going on, my friends? How are you? Hiker Dave and Bigfoot here. I'm going to do another field experiment. I'm very excited for this. I did this once before in Massachusetts, and I left out a recorder. It's just a cheap Olympus recorder, but it sounds good to me. And I've done this before, and it's raining out today. I'm going out in it, by the way. And that is in this video. That's to follow. That's coming right up. I'm going to find a spot to put this. I think I already know where I'm going to put it. I'm going to put it right in between those structures, right by that big boulder. I had a couple of comments on my last video about that boulder, about a gifting spot. I've never really tried it. Once me and my nephew Drew, probably 2 years ago, tried leaving things out, and I left like something that was in my pocket, and I rearranged a couple rocks that were on top of another rock. We went out. It had changed a little bit, but nothing definitive. One of the rocks I had put on was off to the side, possibly moved. A critter jumped up on the rock and moved it. Anyways, so I went out and tried those tree breaks last week, and I was pretty happy with the results. They look very similar to what I'm finding, but the degree of difficulty involved in breaking a sapling, even just a small little 1.25 inches, if you saw my last video, very difficult to do, very difficult to break. There's no way I could break it up over 9 feet or 9 feet in the air. The one successful break I was able to accomplish was a little sapling that was like 1.25 inches thick, was not that big, and the highest I was able to break it was right at about 4 feet or so. And if you go back to that video, you'll be able to see that test. So getting back to the gifting thing, I want to try it because this area looks so promising, and I want to try to switch it up, to do something I'm not normally used to doing. I also plan to do some hiking out here with no phone, no protection, or no firearm or anything like that, and really go out there just open-minded and go out there and maybe sit for a little bit, and with no devices, no electronic devices on me. And I want to test that because I've got a little bit of maybe thinking I'm just going into this really when I just traipse out there and I'm just walking around, and I don't know if I'm giving myself my best chance to possibly see something. And I don't know how I'm going to react to that if and when that happens. But so there's a couple of different approaches I want to take to this whole thing. But this gifting rock, I'm going to call it now, because I do want to leave something out. I don't even know what yet. I know I'm leaving this out. It'll be right there. I'm going to cover it up with some leaves and stuff like that. And I've tested this method before inside the bag, and it's fine. It doesn't affect the audio at all. I will say that going back and listening to the hours and hours and hours and hours of just possibly just listening to leaves fall and birds and crickets, and it's not easy. I can't, and it defeats the purpose if I skip listen for a couple minutes, skip ahead of 30 seconds. That is useless because I could miss something. So it's really something doing this is a huge undertaking because of the time that it takes for me personally to listen and go through it. Now, I do know that they make them where you can visually, it'll show a sound will be on like a graph looking thing. So you can see that a sound has been made near the recorder. And I would love to do that, but I don't, one thing at a time. Wouldn't know where to get a device like that. Never mind pay for a device like that. But this may be, a little cavemanish, but it's what I've got right now, and I want to give it a shot. I want to try it here. So I want to thank a bunch of you guys that sent your envelopes to me and left me notes inside, thank you cards, and just incredibly positive feedback. Just cards and notes, just different things. I had this gentleman Keith. He said I got this along with a self-addressed stamped envelope. I love these and anything to write on. I really love journals and stuff like that. As you can see, I write. I write a lot. I do a lot of writing. I like to document everything. I've got just these notepads everywhere with things, my observations to write them down to reference, right? So this is really cool to just throw in my pocket. I also have a all-weather notebook. I'm going to bring that today because it's really crappy. It's been raining all day, but it looks like it might be clearing up. I had all my rain gear on, and I'm standing at the door of my garage going, I don't even think I need it. So watch it pour on me when I'm out there. Fortunately, it's only a 15-minute walk down the road, or not even, probably 10-minute walk. So I want to thank you guys that leaving me those encouraging notes along with your self-addressed stamped envelope to get the stickers. I do have more left. Keep on sending some envelopes if you want a sticker. One Post Road, Antrim, New Hampshire. I forget I'll tell you right now what the zip code is. One Post Road, P.O. Box 330, Antrim, New Hampshire 03440. Send it right to David Johnson Sr. I'll send you out a sticker until I run out. All right, let's go in the woods. I'm excited. I'm curious. I haven't been out there in a week. So I'm not going to think that a bunch of stuff has changed, but I'm going to do a little bit of a little more walking around out there. I'm going to go with a minimal backpack, just water, first aid, a little bit of food, and a stove, which is all really small stuff. I'll show it to you really quick. So this here is my main pack. Very inexpensive Walmart pack. I know. I hate Walmart too. They always push out the little guy, but it's been a reliable pack. I have a couple of them. The one that I no longer use, the zipper broke, but it was after 3 years of use, and I beat the heck out of it. So it's, but it's when you use something. If that a $23 bag lasts me 3 years hiking in the forest, like I said, I beat the heck out of these bags. I used it for work and stuff like that, and so nice bag, nice light bag. So here's really generally the items I take with me every time I go into the forest, unless it's one of those in and out type deals where I'll go in for only 100 yards just to look around. But sometimes I wish I took stuff with me, even on them short little hikes. But generally, 99.9% of the time, this is everything I'm carrying. I have a stove here, inside here, spoon for food. I've got just this a nice little mug. It nests right in here. Easy to pack, easy to carry. It's lightweight. The stove itself is really, really small. Some dry matches, little Lipton onion soup. I forgot I had this in here. Some bumblebee tuna. Just stuff that I could stop and snack on. Sometimes I go on some fairly long hikes. Just your basic rag. And this is awesome to cook with. I have this wrapped up, this really cool little stove that I think I might have shown you guys before. You might have seen me use it on some of my earlier videos. This is really convenient. This opens up, and these fan out like this. This goes right on top. And it cooks. All you do is bring some gas out with you, screw this to the top, light it, and you're off and running. And you've got something to eat. It's really fast, and it's a comfort to know that I've got something. I swear by the Mountain House Foods. Nobody's paying me for any of this stuff. I just have a lot of experience with the Mountain House Foods and how quickly and easily they cook. You can eat right out of the bag. I love these. I have a lot of these for just emergencies and hiking. It's nice to know you've got some food with you. I always carry a first aid kit of some sort. This is a smaller one. Like I said, it's just I'm only going out here for a couple of hours. That's my intent. I have needed this before. I've cut myself out there and was glad I had it. I bring always a rain fly, hammock rain fly, just for cover. Day like today, it's nice to have it if it starts to pour out. I carry a lot of cordage with me, rope. Not really rope, it's paracord. And that is really my kit. I've got a few other things in here. A spoon I can take with me. I carry a little plastic, a heavy-duty fork. I've got some those sticks that you break, those light sticks. I always carry a couple of those, and all that fits right in my bag. I carry kind of just like a little ground cloth, just to have a little cloth to wipe something down if something gets soaked. If I need a cloth, I've got a nice cloth that's not just this, mechanic's rag. That's really what I carry. I carry my Mora Black on the back of the bag. Inside the bag too, I also carry my saw, water on the outside of the bag. That's it. There it is. So that's what I carry. Kind of a lightweight pack, but it's not ultra light. Believe me, if you're an ultra lighter out there and you're watching this video, you're like, dude, you're crazy. You're carrying way too much weight. I'm not a small guy. I can carry a lot more weight than this. And I'm very comfortable. The pack is comfortable. Let's get out into the woods because the video that I'm going to make out in the woods, I feel is going to be pretty short. It's going to be really me just walking out there, showing you guys where I want to leave this thing. And we'll take a look at the structures that are out there, and we'll keep a mental note of what it looks like. So when I do go back, probably I'll let this run. I'll let this recorder run all the way till I get out of work tomorrow. So I won't be back into New Hampshire. I'm working downtown Boston right now, and I won't be back into New Hampshire until probably 5:30 at night. So I'm kind of been waiting and waiting. 24 hours is a lot of time to listen to, but it's about maybe 3 p.m. right now. So it'll be out there for, 27, 28 hours or something like that. And that's a lot of time to listen to. I just put brand new batteries in it. Let's check it out. We're going to go see, we'll go see what we see out in the forest. Oh, before we head out, my sister had just stopped by. She got out of work early. She'd come by and we were talking, and she's like, oh, where you headed? I told her I'm going out in the woods. She said, oh, just be careful of those coyote. I said, what do you mean? She said, oh, it was on Facebook. Some people in the neighborhood that know each other that know my sister-in-law, and then my sister-in-law told my sister that there's been a pack of coyotes terrorizing the joint at night around here the past 3 nights or so. I didn't know anything about it, but interesting. And I said to my sister, well, you know that they're living right across the street in the woods. Where else would they go at night? Unless they're roaming long distances at night. It makes sense that a pack of coyote, they're going to live in a wooded area. They're not sleeping on anybody's back porch, So I believe that pack of coyote of the tracks that I saw this spring when me and my nephew were out there. And so I'm going to be extra diligent, without a doubt, make sure I'm carrying enough protection to defend myself. But I really can't see coyotes are scared of humans. I believe that, unless they're really hungry or something's wrong with them, rabies or mange or something like that. Other than that, I'm not worried about it. They see me coming or hear me coming, they're going to be bolting and they're gone. I can't see them being hungry. There's so much food around here. I can't see them being desperate enough. 3, 4, 5 coyotes trying to attack me. And if so, I'll fire a warning shot. I can't see them not just taking off. But I don't want to get snuck up on one, and it's just another thing to look out for out there besides the bear and the mountain lion. And now I can add a pack of coyotes that are on the loose around here running around. All right, let's go for a hike. On these rainy, overcast days, the forest is darker. It's a little more mysterious. And I always get this kind of sense of, I guess, a little bit of an anxiety type rush that kind of comes over me, that washes over me as soon as I get right near the trailhead. And you know, it's childish. I sometimes think, you know, what is it that gives me that little feeling of apprehension or anxiety or fear? I guess we're gonna just, if instead of skirting around it, we'll say fear. And and you know, I know why, because I know what's out here. You know, I'll see somebody hiking through here, and it doesn't happen often, but when I do, I think, you know, it's amazing what people don't know, that they're hiking right in an area. Oh, look at that tree break. I don't go this way generally. I just wanted to check out this little blind. But there's a tree break right there. Let's go check that out. But like, did you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you don't know what you don't know. So when you're hiking, if you're someone who's an outdoors person and you just like to be outdoors and you're hiking in the woods, you have no clue of what could be potentially right next to you, and you don't even know it. Oh, that break looks really fresh. Oh, that looks really, really fresh. Maybe not too. Still a little yellow though, for sure. Interesting. I was looking for my... What the... I can't tell if I'm hearing things because I'm just off the road. I can hear road traffic, but... All right, settle down, Hiker Dave. Let's not get ridiculous. So I'm going to take a hike along the river again. We're going to find that. Well, I don't have to find anything. I just follow the river a little ways, and I come to those structures and where that rock is. I wonder how that would ever get there. Look at that. How would that get there? That's funny. That really is kind of funny that thing is just suspended. Look at that. How in the world would that even get there? Never seen that before. Here's this area that I showed you guys before. This whole thing looks like just a setup to me. And it's really a great spot to spy on the parking lot. If you ever have felt a need. And from the parking lot, you can't see anything back here. All right, let's head in. We'll see what we see. forgot my microphone today. Every time I forget something. So I'm sorry about the audio. I'm not turning around now. I'm already here, so. That looks the same as it was last week. I love that. I love that. Just that. Such good fakery. Really nice weather today for hiking. It's like 55 degrees up north right now in New Hampshire. Maybe 56, I think, when I left the house. Very comfortable. Well, here's my spot. So, I'm going to leave the recorder somewhere here and cover it up a bit. Well, yeah, this is where this used to be on this tree, and it switched over the course of a couple months. So this seems like a very busy area. There are too many to count. Leans, asterisks, a lot of bends of skinny trees that make these X's, and all throughout this whole area is covered with that type of sign. I mean, it's just so busy here. I really believe that they're definitely in the area still. There's plenty of room here, plenty of food. You've got the other structure right there, the smaller one, leaned up against the tree over there. You know, it's pretty cool how this one piece touches this teepee and curls over, leans against these couple leans, and that's the one that was jammed into the ground. Really interesting. All right, let me figure something out here. Where I'm going to put this thing and what I'm going to do, what I might leave out. I don't have marbles or anything like that. I don't have any really cool gifts. I'm not going to leave a quarter or something. I don't want to leave anything like that. So I think what I might do is make my own design of stick leans right here. Make maybe a little design here. And then when I come back to get the recorder, it'll probably be exactly the same. But I will leave it out and continuously check on the area until I decide or figure out what exactly I want to leave as a gift. So after I do that, I'll take you guys out back here a little bit and show you some examples. Let me just find a good spot to kind of keep this recorder slightly hidden, but I don't want to bury it and muffle the sound. So let me figure something out. Okay, here's the spot I decided on. I didn't want to leave it on or next to that rock because it is not a gift. I want it back. So what I did was I got it kind of buried here. And it's recording, it's running, but I put it almost in the middle of this teepee structure, that teepee structure, this strip teepee, and then the rock with all the leans on it. So I hope I've picked a good area. I think it's a really good spot. It's not on a trail. It's fairly out of sight unless you're going to go off trail. I don't think anybody's going to find that, at least not overnight. Hopefully I can get back here by dinner time tomorrow, and I'll start going through some of it as much as I can, but I'm going to really mainly focus on on what it's like out here at night. But we'll see, right? You can only try. That's all I can do is try. Let's go for a little walk. So the other recorder I left out at Massasoit last year, it was almost exactly a year ago. It was right around Thanksgiving. And matter of fact, it was Thanksgiving. Not maybe. It definitely was. And I got some whistling, some really strange whistling that was at about maybe the 11:30 or midnight mark of the recording. There was a whistle closer to the recorder, and then I heard a response a little further away, another whistle. Sounded just like a person whistling, just one whistle. And I found that pretty strange that at midnight, out in the woods of a nature preserve, that there was people whistling to each other. I could see a whistle and then a response whistle being right next to it, but not, you could hear that there was distance between the two whistles. So I found that pretty interesting. After going through the audio, I heard a lot of things approach the recorder. I could hear them coming up to it. A little bit later after the whistling, something was sniffing at it, but I almost could feel, I could tell it sounded like it was on four legs, a fox or something like that, or whatever. So let's take a little walk. I want to show you guys out here. Spider on my face. We'll take a little walk out here. Nothing big, nothing major. This video's already long enough as it is. So this whole area right here is interesting with the bends, with the different bends everywhere. It looks like a playground that just there's bends everywhere. And that rock I was talking about where I was going to leave the recorder is right there. So I've been just kind of walking along this muddy area. Let me pan slow so as not to get people all dizzy. But this is that kind of muddy area here. I was down over there a little bit and kind of walked back up here because I wanted to show you guys this area here. Just the different bends everywhere. All kinds of them here, here. Oh, what am I looking at back there? I see a whole bunch of leaners against the tree, so I gotta go see about that, right? Let's take a walk over there and get all these crazy bends, you guys. It's ridiculous from back here. I don't remember ever seeing this part where there's I see a bunch of stuff leaned against the tree over here, but it looks a little different now that I'm close up to it. This is a really busy spot right here. You got this bends up and over and around the back of the tree here. And you've got this leaner sitting here. All kinds of good stuff happening here. Absolutely could be natural. So I'm not sure if this is a wise decision or not. I made my own little X with a couple of birch logs, really. They're actually really thick. And I'm going to monitor that. I don't know if that's a mistake. If I should leave the X's to them, I don't know. I'm testing. I'm just doing a little test. This is, we'll see if this changes. So I'm going to head across the river a little bit, and I'll take you guys with me. See that right there is another smaller teepee. One of the originals that I found. This is the spot right around here that my nephew found that 15 or 16 inch print. I have to have him send me the picture because he has it on his phone, and I'd like to show you guys the print. Look at these two hangers. Just hanging out right there. Got another one just hanging out right there. It fascinates me when I see this, and it's all over the place. I see this. It's hard to explain to me how this branch ends up vertical, leaning against a tree. It's void of any bark. Looks like it might have been on the ground at one time, and it's just nice and snuggled up. Get a better shot at that. Nice and snuggled up next to this pine. How that happens and how it happens so often, there's no way that that branch fell from this tree. I mean, that's bigger than any branch on this tree. There's not, the thickest branch on this tree is probably the one right here behind it. So where did this come from? Where did that branch come from? And why? Why was it put there? There's another break there. Oh, and look at this one. This one's even bigger. That break is probably about 9 feet up or so. And you've got this one leaning against it right here. And there's your break, and that's a leaner. Interesting. Well, I don't think I'm going to go much further today. Been out here a couple of hours. Satisfied where I put my recorder. I think that it was a really good spot. So what I'll end up doing is I stayed in that area for like 25 minutes or so. I looked at the clock to see how long I was in that area. I can fast forward at least through the first half hour of the recording, knowing that any sounds heard on the recording are me walking around out there. That's big. That's a big one. It looks like, I guess possibly, right? It could have been taken down by this tree that fell and snapped it. Cool. Whoa. Well, I'm just about back at the trailhead now. I'm really excited about this winter. I have a belief or a theory on why I wasn't finding tracks, prints, new breaks, things like that in Massachusetts where I used to explore. And my theory back then was because in the wintertime, they're smart enough to realize that they're leaving tracks in the snow. I fully believe that. They're not stupid. They know that they're going to leave footprints when they travel. And that's just my belief. That's my theory on that. And I have been kind of said it in a few of my videos back in Massachusetts that it really kind of stands to reason that they would retreat up into the mountains maybe during the wintertime. And that's why it was like they were gone. You know, I didn't feel that sense of being watched. I didn't feel that. It felt empty. You know, I was hiking around out in the snow and I wasn't feeling that. And I'm in the mountains now. So it's going to be interesting this winter because I'm going to be able to get out here up in the mountains. So look, I can kind of test my hypotenuse, right, and see if maybe, just maybe, there's something to that, where maybe I'll be able to do some snowshoeing up here, and maybe I could come across some stuff in the snow. That would be awesome. Even in Massasoit, at the end of the winter, I think it might have been 2 years ago, I found that little 8-inch print, barefoot print. I found a left track. Then I continued up further, just all by itself. It was on a foot trail with boots, sneakers, other people's, my snowshoe tracks or whatever. I don't even think I was wearing snowshoes because the snow was only a couple inches deep. But mixed in with all the human tracks and boots and such, and mountain bikes or whatever were going through the area, was one print. And then up the trail, I found the other print. I don't remember whether I found the right first or the left first, but you get what I'm talking about. Up the trail, 75 feet up, I found the other track. That was in the snow. So my hypotenuse could be worth nothing. But I can try, right? I can have my theories on what I think maybe why they're so quiet in the wintertime and where they go. I don't believe they hibernate. I think they find a good spot, very secluded, way off of foot trails, nowhere near these state parks, or at least not near the foot trails. And that's how they maneuver around in the wintertime. You know, when I talk about having that feeling, you know, I think I did a whole video maybe like a year and a half ago about that sense, or like a sixth sense, like when you can tell someone's looking at you from across the room. It could be a crowded room, and you almost can feel like you're being looked at, and you can almost, your eyes will meet the person that's looking right at you. It's this sense. It's like if somebody is standing directly behind you, you can feel, somehow you can feel that. You can't see the person standing right there behind you, but you have this sense of your pie, so to speak, your area, like my little, I call it my pie. You're in my pie, I'll tell somebody if they're standing too close to me or something like that. I've had it happen in a store before. I'd turn around and tell the person, please back up. You're standing right in my spot. I mean, you don't need to be hugging me. But regardless, that feeling, that sixth sense, is what I talk about, how that's often, I feel a void of that while hiking in the wintertime in Massachusetts. Not to say that there weren't times when I felt something that I could have done to myself. I don't know how to explain that at all. But to have that feeling of not being alone, is a lot less, at least it was in Massachusetts. And that's kind of what I mean by I don't, in the wintertime in Massachusetts, I wasn't getting that feeling. Anyways, guys, I really do appreciate you watching the video. I thank you very much for it. It really is appreciated. So until the next one, you guys, once again, thank you for clicking, and I'll definitely see you guys on the next one.